A nickel's worth of honesty.
The scene is New York City. The setting is the busy harbor along the Hudson River. A certain large steamship stands on one of the docks, waiting to sail to a faraway country. People are milling about the docks alongside the steamship. Some are going away on this ship, and others have come to bid loved ones a safe journey to that far land across the ocean.
Goodbye, Doctor, Mother. Not many years, and I'll be back.
We certainly hope so, Mike.
God be with you, Mike, and protect you.
Well, thank you. I'm sure he will, Doctor. Goodbye, Mother.
Goodbye, Mike.
Bye.
Goodbye. Mike Keller, saying a fond farewell to those he loved, started up the gangplank, waving a long, heartfelt goodbye. At the top of the gangplank, a distinguished seagoing man halted him.
Your name and your destination?
Name's Mike Keller, and I'm going...
Dr. Keller?
Why, yes, sir.
Well, welcome aboard, Dr. Keller. I'm the captain, Captain Sell.
I'm glad to meet you, Captain. I'm sure I'll enjoy the trip.
I've been reading about you in the papers. Going over as a missionary, I understand.
Yes, Captain. A lifelong ambition of mine.
Well, I'd like to talk about that, Dr. Keller, at our leisure. Would you honor me by sharing my table at dinner?
Why, I would be happy to, Captain.
The purser will show you to your cabin.
Thank you.
Until dinner, then, Dr. Keller. You know, I think it's marvelous, Dr. Keller, that you've given up a successful practice to go to Africa as a missionary.
It's what I want to do, Captain.
Now, just the same, it means something to give up all that income and fame and go into darkest Africa. You said going into the mission lands was a lifelong ambition?
It is, Captain.
I imagine there's a story back of this, yes?
Yes, you're very discerning, Captain. Yes, there is a story.
Well, I love stories.
Well, it's quite a long story, assuming that you want to hear it.
You assume correctly. And the first mate's on the bridge. I have all the time in the world. Cigarette, Dr. Keller?
No thanks. Never use them.
Well, you're better off. They're just a habit. Your story, Doctor?
Well, Captain, I suppose you can hear the ship's engine down in the hold of the ship.
Oh, yes. My ears are trained to hear them.
Well, listen to them a moment. Hear how constant yet pulsating the engines are?
Yes.
The sound of those engines remind me of a sound I heard every day of my life when I was a boy. The sound of traffic in a large city. You see, Captain, I sold newspapers on the busy corner by the city post office.
Evening paper, get your Chronicle paper here, paper.
How much, boy?
5 cents, please.
Now, here's a dime. Keep the change.
Thank you, sir. Evening Chronicle, get your evening paper here. Read all about the hotel fire. Evening Chronicle. Guess how much I made today, Mom?
Oh, son, I can't guess. How much?
75 cents.
That much? Why, that's fine, Mike.
Here it is, Mom. All for you. 75 cents.
Oh, you're a good boy, Mike. A great help to me, and I'm proud of you, dear. You're a lot like your father was.
Go ahead and count it, Mom.
Count what?
The money I gave you. Go ahead and count it.
Oh, 25, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 95, $1, 5, 6, 7, 8, $1.09. I thought you said you made only 75 cents.
I did. That is what I made. But I got some tips. 36 cents worth.
Are you sure, son, it was tips?
Sure, Mom. Why?
You didn't shortchange someone purposely.
No, Mom. I wouldn't do that. That would be stealing.
I know.
And I wouldn't steal, Mom. How could I? With a mom like you to tell me how wrong stealing is?
Well, some boys don't heed the warnings of their parents, son, and I... Well, come on, Mike. Supper's ready and waiting.
And boy, oh boy, I'm ready for it. Evening Chronicle, news just off the press. Get your Evening Chronicle right here.
Here, boy, I'll have one of them.
5 cents, please. Thank you. Evening Chronicle right paper, mister?
Yes, I believe I will.
5 cents, please.
Well, here's a $50. Cold evening, isn't it, for a boy to be out dressed no warmer than you are?
Yes, sir. Here's your change, sir, and thank you.
It's quite all right, but this change, well, never mind.
What was the matter with him? Oh, well. Evening Chronicle, right here. Read the news while it is news. Get your... Did I give that man the right change? I gave him 45 cents, didn't I? I gave him a quarter, a dime, and 1 nickel. That's only 40 cents. I shortchanged him. I'll have to catch up with him and give him another nickel. Which way did he go? That way, I think. Yes, there he is. Mister! I cheated you out of a nickel.
You did?
I didn't mean to. I gave you only 40 cents change instead of 45.
Oh?
Here's your nickel, sir.
You ran all the way to catch up with me, merely to give me this nickel?
Yes, sir. It's your nickel, not mine. I can't keep what's not mine. That would be stealing.
So it would. Well, I'd like to talk to you a few minutes. You got time?
Yes, sir. A few minutes.
Well, let's go where it's warm into this doorway.
Okay.
This is Betty. Now, what's your name, son?
Mike Keller, sir. And I'm awfully sorry I tried to cheat you out of that nickel.
Oh, of course you are. Else you wouldn't have gone to the bother of giving it back to me.
I don't know what ever made me make such a mistake.
Well, I knew you shortchanged me, but I didn't say anything because I thought maybe you did it purposely, like so many of the boys do.
I wouldn't keep a penny, not 1 penny that didn't belong to me.
Well, how old are you, Mike?
Almost 11, sir.
You intend to always sell papers for a living?
Oh, no, sir. Someday I'm going to be a missionary in Africa.
Worthy ambition.
I'm going to be a medical missionary.
A doctor, eh? Well, why do you want to be a doctor?
'Cause I want to help people get well. My father died of cancer, and I'm going to make heathen people well and at the same time tell them about Christianity.
Well, I see.
Don't you think the medical profession and being a missionary is a good profession, sir?
Indeed I do. And I think you're going to make one of the very best of medical missionaries. To be a doctor and missionary, too, you've got to be an honest and upright man. And you have a good start. Where do you live, Mike?
Out on East River Street, in a little house back of number 4387.
4387 East River Street. Well, Mike, I'd better go now, but here's a little something for the time you've stayed away from your paper selling.
Thanks, sir, but I can't take it. I can't take anything that I haven't earned.
It's a gift, Mike. You can take gifts, can't you, Mike?
Well,
Goodbye, Mike.
He gave me $5. Maybe I hadn't better keep it. He said it was a gift, and I can't refuse a gift, not from a nice man like him. I can hardly wait to get home and tell Mother, but I gotta sell my papers first. When he said it was a gift, I just had to take it. Did I do right, Mom?
Of course you did, son. What kind of a man was he, anyway?
An awfully nice man.
Well, what did he look like?
I don't know. Just like any nice man, I guess.
I mean, did he look like a preacher or a businessman or what?
I don't know, Mom.
Oh, Mrs. Martin's coming over. That's probably her at the door. Oh, yes?
Mrs. Keller?
Yes?
How do you do, sir?
Well, hello, Mike.
Mom, this is the man I was telling you about.
My name is Summers, Mrs. Keller. Dr. Summers.
A doctor?
I was talking to your son earlier this evening,
Oh,
and...
won't you come in, Dr. Summers?
Well, yes, thank you.
Here's a chair, sir.
Well, thank you, Mike.
What can we do for you, Dr. Summers?
Well, I came, Mrs. Keller, because I took a special interest in Mike and his unusual honesty.
Mike's a good boy, and honest as they come.
I can well believe that, Mrs. Keller. And that's exactly what I want to talk about. You see, my wife and I have a home just outside the city, and it's a nice country home. But my wife isn't at all well, and she needs a companion and someone to see that Well, that the housekeeper and maids do things properly, and I was wondering if you and Mike would like to come and share our home.
Why, I don't know, Dr. Summers. This is rather sudden.
Now, it's really a farm. Mike could feed the chickens and gather eggs, take care of the stock, do lots of things that most boys like to do on the farm. How about it, Mike?
Well, like me, Mike's so taken by surprise he doesn't know what to say.
Well, don't say it. Just let me drive you and Mike out and look the place over. You can decide later.
Here, chickie, chickie, chickie. Here, chickie, chick. This is fun. I hope Mother decides to move here with Dr. Summers. Here, chickie, chickie, chick.
Well, Captain Sells, within 2 weeks, Mother and I were comfortably settled in our new home with Dr. and Mrs. Summers.
And all because you refused to keep 5 cents that wasn't rightfully yours.
Exactly, Captain. Well, the years went by. I graduated from the 8th grade and went on to high school. Finally, high school graduation day came. I worked hard, awfully hard that summer, trying to get together enough money to enter pre-med school. Then, one evening, when I had just about given up in despair, Dr. Summers called me into his study and...
Mike, you and your mother have been with us now for almost 10 years.
You've been more than kind to us, Doctor.
No, not at all, Mike. The shoe's on the other foot. You've been kind to us. And for your loyalty and honesty and faithfulness through the years, my wife and I want to... we want to do something special for you. We want to help you through medical school.
Oh, but
No,
sir,
not
I
a word,
couldn't.
Mike. We're old now, my wife and I, and, well, we want to keep the doctor's tradition alive in the family. You're not our actual son, but, you know what I mean.
Guess that's about the end of my story.
The thing that amazes me most about your story, Doctor, is the fact that Dr. Summers was able to see in that poor newsboy, whom he knew not at all, the great man and doctor that you are today. How do you account for that?
Dr. Summers was and is a very wise and understanding man.
But it's more than that, I think. It's the fact that you are an honest boy, completely honest, and for only a nickel, too. All boys and girls who are that honest are bound to end up amounting to something. They'll be big men and women someday.
I believe that, Captain. I most certainly do. In fact, that's the main thing I'm going to try to teach. Honesty. If it is only a nickel's worth of honesty, it's still the most important commodity in the world.
We hope these two Your Story Hour classics brought back fun memories for you longtime listeners.
If so, won't you please drop Aunt Carol and me a line or go on our website and leave us a message.
We'd love to hear from you and to know how Your Story Hour may have impacted your life.
So send us a note by mail at Your Story Hour, Box 8, Niles, Niles, Michigan, 49120. That's Box 8, Niles, Michigan, 49120.
Or go to our website. That address is yourstoryhour.org. At the bottom of the page, you'll see the words Guest Book, so just click on that and you'll be able to leave a message.
You'll discover that messages are left by those who've been fans for many years and those who've just discovered Your Story Hour. And speaking of discovery, Aunt Carol...
Yes?
Well, there are a lot of other things on our website to discover besides our guest book.
For sure, Uncle Dan, like Clubhouse Magazine, for example, one of your favorites, I believe.
That's because I love Funny Bones page.
Because you like to collect riddles to try on me.
Well, just maybe.
And that's just one thing on our site. We didn't even mention the adventures.
Or the podcast.
Or the link to the latest broadcast where you can listen online.
And all for free.
Right. There's more to see as well, so go to yourstoryhour.org and check it out.
So now, Aunt Carol, I guess we have to go.
But we'll see you all next time.
This has been Your Story Hour, building for a better tomorrow.
This is Aunt Carol.
And Uncle Dan saying,
Goodbye, everyone. See you again next time.